Under Milkwood by Dylan Thomas. I got this book in high school from our library and took it from there. In my defense, no kids at the time were really taking out books as far as I noticed. Like, the place had just become a computer lab with some dusty books in the corner on shelves. And I mean, I don't know, maybe I deprived someone of the chance to read Under Milkwood, and now I feel like crap, like some future generation could have read this, but the first part really is my favorite, where he's describing night. To begin at the beginning, it is a spring moonless night in the small town, starless and Bible black, the cobble streets silent, and the hunched Quarters and Rabbit's Wood limping invisible down the slow black, crow-black, fish-boat bottoming sea. The houses are blind as moles, though moles see fine tonight in the snouting, velvet dingles, or blind as Captain Cat there in the muffled middle by the pump and the town clock, the shops in mourning, the welfare hall in widow's weeds, and all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now. Hush, the babies are sleeping, the farmers, the fishers, the tradesmen and pensioners, cobbler, schoolteacher, postman and publican, the undertaker and the fancy woman, drunkard, dressmaker, preacher, policeman, the webfoot cockle women, and the tidy wives. Young girls lie bedded soft or glide in their dreams, with rings and trousseau, bridesmaided by glowworms down the aisle of the organ-playing wood. And if you've read the rest of that intro, I was so lucky when I found this book, because when I flipped through, I saw all these words that I had never seen in print before in a beautiful way, because I guess I'd been reading. He uses words like summer breathed and sun honeyed. The best part is how you don't have to worry about missing some big event or a beginning, middle, and end situation of the story, because it's really like focusing on little, not just snapshots into people's lives, but really it's like progressing through a town, visiting each home for a brief time and hearing their dynamics. Like, there's this Mr. Pugh and Mrs. Pugh, and Mr. Pugh wants to like poison his wife, but he lies and says he's reading a book about the lives of the great saints. But he's like hiding it and like imagining how he's gonna, I don't know, give her some concoction. She must have been pretty bad, but I don't know. I mean, in this, it's all very light, or not light, but he doesn't poison her. And you start with also this character, Captain Cat, and he sort of narrates what's happening in the town, and he overhears things. But in the first scene, he's having a dream and recalling people drowned on his ship. And on page 5, Captain Cat, aye aye, Curly. Second drowned. Tell my missus no I never. Third drowned. I never done what she said. I never. Fourth drowned. Yes, they did. Fifth drowned. And who brings coconuts and shawls and parrots to my Gwen now? First drowned. How's it above? Second drowned. Is there rum and lava bread? Bosoms and robins? Concertinas? Ebenezer's bell? Fighting and onions. There's Lord Cutglass, Mrs. Dyebread 1 and Mrs. Dyebread 2, and then Dyebread himself. Me, Dyebread, hurrying to the bakery, pushing in my shirt tails, buttoning my waistcoat. Ping goes a button. Why can't they sew them? No time for breakfast, nothing for breakfast. There's wives for you. Oh yes, and one of the parts where Mr. Pugh is like plotting to, he doesn't like his wife, but he's like, Mr. Pugh in the schoolhouse opposite takes up the morning tea to Mrs. Pugh and whispers on the stairs, here's your arsenic, dear, and your weed killer biscuit. I loved the Reverend Eli Jenkins, who he's just giving out like these odes to the city at in the morning. Who pulls the town hall bell rope but blind Captain Cat? One by one the sleepers are wrung out of sleep this one morning as every morning. And soon you shall see the chimneys slow up flying snow, as Captain Cat in sailor's cap and sea boots announces today with his loud get out of bed bell. On page 41. All over the town, babies and old men are cleaned and put into their broken prams and wheeled onto the sunlit, cockled cobbles, or out into the backyards under the dancing underclothes, and left. A baby cries. Old man. I want my pipe, and he wants his bottle. It says, Reverend Eli Jenkins, every morning when I wake, dear Lord, a little prayer I make. Oh, please to keep thy lovely eye on all poor creatures born to die. And every evening at sundown, I ask a blessing on the town. For whether we last the night or no, I'm sure is always touch and go. We are not wholly bad or good, we who live our lives under Milkwood. And thou, I know, wilt be the first to see our best side, not our worst. Oh, let us see another day. Bless us this night, I pray. And to the sun we will all bow and say goodbye, but just for now. First voice, and the huge horse neighs softly as though we had given it a lump of sugar. Now the town is dusk. Each cobble, donkey, goose and gooseberry street is a thoroughfare of dusk, and dusk and ceremonial dust, and the night's first darkening snow and the sleep of birds drift under and through the live dusk of this place of love. Lattergib is the capital of dusk. Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, at the first drop of the dusk shower, seals all her sea-view doors, draws the germ-free blinds, sits, erect as a dry dream, on a high-backed hygienic chair, and wills herself to a cold, quick sleep. At once, at twice, Mr. Ogmore and Mr. Pritchard, who all dead, day long have been gossiping like ghosts in the woodshed, planning the loveless destruction of their glass widow, reluctantly sigh and sidle into her clean house. And they're basically ghosts because I guess her husbands had passed away. She's twice widowed, and then on page 85, Mrs. Ogmore Pritchard, husbands, and then first voice. She says in her sleep, there's acid love in her voice for one of the two shambling phantoms. Mr. Ogmore hopes that it is not for him. So does Mr. Pritchard. And another example where Captain Cat is narrating what's happening in the town. On page 48. Ocky milkman on his round. I will say this, his milk's as fresh as the dew. Half dew it is. Snuffle on, Ocky, watering the town. Somebody's coming. Now the voices round the pump can see somebody coming. Hush, there's a hush. You can tell by the noise of the hush it's Polly Garter. Hello, Polly, who's there? That's Polly Garter. Hello, Polly, my love. Can you hear the dumb goose hiss of the wives as they huddle and peck or flounce at a waddle away? Who cuddled you when? Which of their gandering hubbies moaned in Milkwood for your naughty mothering arms and body like a wardrobe? Love, scrub the floors of the welfare hall for the Mothers' Union social dance. And then your one mother won't wriggle her roly-poly bum or pat her fat little buttery feet in that wedding-ringed holy tonight, through the waltzing breadwinners snatched from the cozy smoke of the sailor's arms will grizzle and mope. And on page 49, I love this just description of, there's the clip-clop of horses on the sun-honeyed cobbles of the humming streets, hammering of horseshoes, gobble, quack, and cackle, tom-tit twitter from the bird-ounced boughs, braying on donkey down. Bread is baking, pigs are grunting, chop goes the butcher, milk churns bell, tills ring, sheep cough, dogs shout, saws sing. Oh, the spring whinny and morning moo from the clog-dancing farms. The gulls gab and rabble on the boat-bobbing river and sea, and the cockles bubbling in the sand, scamper of sanderlings, curlew cry, crow caw, pigeon coo, clock strike, bull bellow, and the ragged gabble of the Bear Garden School as the women scratch and babble in Mrs. Organ Morgan's general shop, where everything is sold. Custard, buckets, henna, rat ramps, shrimp nets, sugar, stamps, confetti, paraffin, hatchets, whistles. On 51, it's like just talking about how the town, it gives you an idea of how the town likes to gossip about the people. Fourth woman, there's a nasty lot live here when you come to think. Look at that no good boyo now, too lazy to wipe his snout, and going out fishing every day, and all he ever brought back was a Mrs. Samuels. Been in the water a week. And look at Ocky Milkman's wife that nobody's ever seen. He keeps her in the cupboard with the empties. And think of Di Bread with 2 wives. Because Di Bread is that guy who I guess has Mrs. Di Bread 1 and Mrs. Di Bread 2. Mrs. Di Bread 1, capped and shawled and no old corset. Nice to be comfy, nice to be nice. Clogging on the cobbles to stir up a neighbor. Oh, Mrs. Sarah, can you spare a loaf, love? Di Bread forgot the bread. There's a lovely morning. How's your boils this morning? Isn't that good news now? It's a change to sit down. Ta, Miss Sarah. Me, Mrs. Di Bread 2, gypsied to kill in a silky scarlet petticoat above my knees, dirty pretty knees. See my body through my petticoat, brown as a berry, high heel shoes with one heel missing, tortoise-shell comb in my bright black slinky hair. Nothing else at all but a dab of scent, lolling gaudy at the doorway. Tell your fortune in the tea leaves, scowling at the sunshine, lighting up my pipe. And there is notes on pronunciation of all the Welsh words in here, because I definitely just, when first reading the book, would go through reading it and just saying whatever in my head, but I knew I wasn't pronouncing it right. Stand on this hill. This is Lattergib Hill, old as the hills, high, cool, and green. And from this small circle of stones, made not by Druids, but by Mrs. Bainan's Billy, you can see all the town below you, sleeping in the first of the dawn. You can hear the lovesick wood pigeons mooning in bed. A dog barks in his sleep, farmyards away. The town ripples like a lake in the waking haze. So there was a recording of Under Milkwood that was performed by Richard Burton, and some other cast members. And it was beautiful to listen to because it felt like you were at a play or something. Page 73. The sunny, slow, lulling afternoon yawns and moons through the dozy town. The sea lolls, laps, and idles in, with fishes sleeping in its lap. The meadows still as Sunday, the shut-eyed tasseled bulls, the goat and daisy dingles, nap happy and lazy. The dumb duck ponds snooze. Clouds sag and pillow on Larragib Hill. Pigs grunt in a wet wallow bath and smile as they snort and dream. They dream of the acorn swill of the world, the rooting for pig fruit, the bagpipe dugs of the mother sow, the squeal and snuffle of yeses of the women pigs in rut. They mud bask and snout in the pig-loving sun, their tails curl. They rollick and slobber and snore to deep, smug, after-swill sleep. Donkeys angelically drowse on Donkey Down. And this cutaway describing these pigs sort of goes in with how Mrs. Pugh is saying Mr. Pugh is being a pig. Because he's falling asleep and kind of dreaming. And then it says, first voice, Mr. Pugh cringes awake. He puts on a soft, soaping smile. It is sad and gray under his nicotine egg-yellow, weeping walrus Victorian mustache, worn thick and long in memory of Dr. Crippen. Mrs. Pugh says, you should wait until you retire to your sty. Because she had been telling him, do not nod off at the table. And the second voice says Mrs. Pugh, sweet as a razor. His fawning, measly quarter smile freezes. Sly and silent, he foxes into his chemist den, and there, in a hiss and prussic circle of cauldrons and phials, brimful with pox and the Black Death, cooks up a fricassee of deadly nightshade, nicotine, hot frog, cyanide, and bat spit for his needling stalactite hag, and bednag of a poker-backed nutcracker wife. Every character, equally has a part in this, and their thoughts, or what's going on with them. But I love that there's no big, huge main event of a plot and an arc of things happening and events. It's just these strange is just not gonna cut it, but just these little simple moments of in their dreams, in their memories. And I wish I could choose words like Dylan Thomas. First voice, now behind the eyes and secrets of the dreamers in the streets, rock to sleep by the sea. See the second voice, titbits and topsy-turvies, bobs and button-tops, bags and bones, ash and rind and dandruff and nail parings, saliva and snowflakes and molted feathers of dreams, the wrecks and sprats and shells and fish bones, whale juice and moonshine and small salt fry, dished up by the hidden sea. And I guess Dylan Thomas, as it says in the preface, had died a month later after turning in Under Milkwood. It says, the survival of Under Milkwood is a remarkable piece of good fortune, for it was not completed until Thomas came within a month of his death, though he had worked intermittently on the play for nearly 10 years. A small town, a small Welsh seaside town. Strange people who are lovelorn for someone from their past. married couples, Captain Cat with his memories of being at sea, dreams, the course of a day turning into night. 89, page 89. Dusk is drowned forever until tomorrow. It is all at once night now. The windy town is a hill of windows, and from the larruped waves, the lights of the lamps in the windows call back the day and the dead that have been run away to sea. All over the calling dark, babies and old men are bribed and lullabied to sleep. And again, from page 2 at the start of the book. Listen, it is night in the chill, squat chapel, hymning in bonnet and brooch and bombazine black, butterfly choker and bootlace bow, coughing like nanny goats, sucking Mentos, 40 winking hallelujah. Night in the four-ale, quiet as a domino, in Aukie Milkman's lofts like a mouse with gloves, in Diebread's bakery flying like black flour. It is tonight in Donkey Street, trotting silent, with seaweed on its hooves, along the cockled cobbles, past curtained fern pot, text and trinket, harmonium, holy dresser, watercolors done by hand, china dog and rosy tin tea caddy. It is night, neddying among the snuggeries of babies. Under Milkwood by Dylan Thomas.